Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Christine, your host, and I am flying solo today, and I will be answering your questions. If you have not subscribed to the podcast or left a review or any of that, I would love it if you would subscribe so we can hang out more in the future. And there is also a video version of this on YouTube. So you can listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts, or you can watch if you would like to do that. So on Instagram, if you don't follow me there, I'm Frugal Fit Mom 6. I asked if you had any questions, and today we are going to do our best to answer them as lickety split as possible. I've been trying to film this with my husband because I know you guys like it when he's on, but our evenings are so packed right now with mountain bike races and kids activities. We can't find a minute in the evening. And since he still works full time, he's at work. So it's just going to be me today. The first question is, can you link your podcast on your Instagram profile? Yes, I think that's actually a really good idea. So I will be doing that like today. Is my husband still working at his job? Yes, he's there right now. He works a full-time job doing something with technology at a university. He's been working in that field for over 10 years now. I don't see him quitting anytime soon. He loves his job. And the last thing I want to do is make him work for me. Did Speedy pass away? So Speedy is our toy poodle. He is 13 years old now. Oh my gosh. So no, he did not pass away, but he is not doing well. He's blind. He has no teeth, literally. They had to pull all of his teeth out. He sleeps most of the time. He hides under my bed a good portion of the time. He is a senior dog at this point, so he's kind of sleeping most of the time. That's why you kind of don't see him in the videos. Plus, he only weighs 6.5 pounds, so he's really short. Compared to Rogue, who is almost 60 pounds, she's much taller. So you'll see her in the back of a video. You won't really see him anymore. Next question. Budgeting meals and snacks. How do you get the kids to not eat so much, causing you to shop more? So there's a couple of pieces here. We don't fill up on snacks at our house. I make really big meals, really big, really filling. A lot of protein, healthy fats, high calorie. And I don't restrict my kids even a little bit when it comes to mealtime. If they want thirds at dinner, I let them have it. That being said, we only drink water and we don't do desserts on the regular. So it's the meal, which means they're not really hungry for snacks. And I also don't buy what you might consider snacks. Like I don't buy chips. I don't buy Little Debbie's on the regular. I'm not buying Capri Suns. These things are delicious, highly addictive, and don't fill you up. So yeah, they can like really pound their face with stuff like that. Some things they do love to eat are string cheeses and yogurts. So I do restrict them. Like if they're going to have a string cheese as a snack, I say have a string cheese and a fruit, but you only get one string cheese today. Or if they want a Greek yogurt, like they're not eating 3 cups of Greek yogurt. They get 1 cup of Greek yogurt and then they can wait for the next meal. That's how I run it. It seems to work really well. Some of these I really wish I had my husband to help me answer, but we don't. So here we go. What are some things you did while your kids were little that made a big impact? I think one of the best things that I did along with my husband is, number one, we were on the same page as far as how we wanted to raise the kids. If you're not on the same page with your partner on how to raise children, that will cause endless arguments. Like trying to find a long-term partner who shares your same values and goals and also how to get there. You can have the same goals and disagree on how to get to the goal, which causes a lot of arguments, honestly. So the first thing I did was marry the right person. The second thing is we were so consistent on discipline. We had very clear rules. You were not allowed to misbehave, even as toddlers. Like I never let my toddlers wander around the house with food in their hand. That did not happen. You ate at the table or you didn't eat. And they learned that they only got to eat during the 30 minutes to an hour of the mealtime. Once they were down, they were done until the next time we had a meal and or official snack. And we were consistent. We agreed with each other. Like the kids were not manipulating us by running to dad or running to mom when the other one disagreed. I was given a great piece of advice when I was pregnant with Haley, so my first child. And that was never, ever threaten anything to your kids that you're not willing to follow through on. And I took that to heart and it really, really worked. So when I say my kids are going to lose whatever privilege, they believe me because I follow through on my threats. I say threats with a loose term. Like the threat is, they're not going to watch TV for a week, right? That's the threat. It's not like a different kind of threat. I'm really trying to see how rapid fire I can go through these questions. But before I hit the next question, I do want to thank Element for sponsoring today's podcast. Element helps anyone stay hydrated without the sugar or other ingredients found in popular electrolyte and sports drinks. So electrolyte deficiency or imbalance can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, brain fog, and weakness. It's something I experience. I live at high elevation and I train and hike at very high elevation, like 10, 11,000 feet. And Hydration and nutrition, very, very important. So Element is a zero sugar electrolyte drink born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times government recommendations. So each stick delivers a huge dose of electrolytes free of sugar, free of artificial colors, and it's formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration. It's awesome for athletes and for people who are doing specific diets, keto, low carb, whole food, paleo diets, any of those. Members of my community can receive a free Element sample pack with any order when you purchase through my URL. It's drinkelement.com/frugalfitmom. All that info will be in the show notes. It's totally risk-free, so if you don't like it, give it away to a friend and they will give you your money back. No questions asked. Thank you to Element. Let's get back to the rest of the questions. Do I ever run into wildlife on my runs and bike races, bears, etc.? The only time I ran into a bear was when I lived in North Carolina. I actually ran into bears often, very, very often. They had black bears. Here in Idaho, I've seen moose, deer, and elk. I personally have never run into a bear on my bike or running around here. If you are going to run into a bear, it's going to be in Teton National Park. That's where all of the bears are. And I've heard coyotes, but I've never seen the coyotes. My favorite breakfast is savory. I love eggs, bacon, hash browns, some sourdough toast with butter on it. Yum. Oh, this one's so interesting. What questions do you ask while dating to find a proper spouse? There's a couple things you really should agree on with your spouse. They are the following. You should have the same, I don't want to say religion, but I'm going to say religious views, because for a lot of people, that is a core part of their identity. You do need to have the same values. You do need to have the same views on how to raise children together. And you need to have the same views on how to handle extended family, in-laws, and boundaries. So if you kind of fall in line with those categories, because these are the things that really, really matter. Do you have the same views on money, how you spend it, how you save it? Work ethic. All of those are so important for a long-lasting, I'm going to say happy marriage, happy long-term relationship, because if you don't agree on these core fundamentals that you do have to deal with on a daily basis with your partner, you are going to have a very hard time and a lot of contention in your house. Where do you get the time to do all of the things? This is a lie. You do not have time to do all of the things. There's no such thing as balance. This is true. There's no such thing as balance. Have you ever met an Olympian athlete who has balance in their life? No, you don't. Because to be excellent at something, you can't have balance. So if you're going to have balance in your life, you won't excel at any one thing, because that's not what balance looks like. So you have to pick. Do you want to be excellent at something, or do you want to have some semblance of balance in your life? And if you want more balance and you don't care to be excellent in something, you have to let some stuff go. And I'm the kind of person who wants to do all of the things, but I don't have time to do all of the things. So some of the stuff just has to fall by the wayside. Favorite Buffy episode, and have I watched Angel? Yes, I have seen both from beginning to end. My favorite Buffy episode is a toss-up between The Body, not because it's easy to watch. The Body episode is one of the hardest pieces of television to watch. I always cry. It's just such a beautiful piece of cinematography when talking about grieving the loss of a loved one. It's so well done. It's so emotional that it's a top one for me. And then of course, Once More with Feeling is my all-time favorite episode, the musical episode. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. I just love it to death. Do I or Dave follow Rusty Judgment? I watch any remodel video. I really love remodel videos. So anytime he's like working on painting cabinets or redoing floors, like I just love that stuff. So I totally watch that stuff. Dave doesn't watch a ton of YouTube, but he likes the things that are super relaxing. Like the guy mowing the lawn. Have you seen that guy? He'll watch that all day long. Do I wish I would have had more kids? No, I don't. I think 4's plenty. 4's great. I love all my kids. I feel very satisfied. I never felt like I was missing one. I will tell you that I'm excited to be a grandparent. I'm still a few years off from that, but I am excited to move on to the next stage of babies and supporting my kids in their journey. Does your family know how lucky they are to have you? Thank you for the compliment. I don't know that anybody knows how lucky they are to have the people around them until they're not there anymore. So I couldn't say. I have no idea. I really hate my job, but it's good for my family, like benefits and flexibility. What do I do? I like to approach difficult questions like this with this question: is what decision would you make if you were more confident in the outcome? So if you were extremely confident that if you left this job and applied for a different job that probably paid better, that you love, would you make the leap? And if the answer is yes, that's your answer. Because a lot of things we do are out of fear and not out of confidence. And I don't want to make any decision based on fear. I want to make my decision based on, like, am I confident enough to make a scary decision that could benefit everyone, me and my family? Will we get a video detailing your Lotoja bike race? No, I did not film a video. I put a couple pictures on Instagram, but I'm with a group of people and it's a little chaotic to be in a car all day with everybody, and I was the main driver, so I did not. However, if you wanted to know, our team, our relay team, won the all-female race category. We won. Like, we got medals, winners race jerseys. They gave us lifetime coolers. It was amazing. We got to stand on the podium. It was one of the most fun things. The race category is extremely competitive, totally different vibe than riding with the ride category, but super fun race. I've never done the whole thing myself. It's a 209-mile road bike race from Logan, Utah to Jackson, Wyoming. I don't know that I want to do the entire 200 miles on my own, but the relay is super fun. Plans to visit Australia? One day. If you guys had a higher income, let's say $150,000 to $200,000, what would you do differently, if anything? I don't know that I would do anything differently. I'm pretty happy with what we've accomplished. Like, our house is paid off. House prices are redonk right now. So like, I don't see the point in going anywhere. We have reliable cars. Those are paid off. We have everything we need and some stuff we probably don't need. So I'm really happy with all of that. I might travel more. I really like to travel, so I might throw that out there. This one's so funny. Don't you just love eating out now after all those years of cooking? I actually do not. I do not enjoy going out to eat. And perhaps it's my area. I really think since 2020, the restaurants have had a hard time coming back. I don't know if they can't find good workers or if the prices are higher, but the wages haven't gone up and like the workers aren't happy about that. I'm not really sure what it is. But in my area, the food is very expensive to go out. We don't have great restaurants. Like, that's just not one of the things that we have. We have beautiful mountains and you can do a lot of outdoorsy things, but restaurants is just not one of them. And so the food is usually just so-so and the service is usually horrible. Dave and I went out to dinner with my sister and her boyfriend like 2 weeks ago. We were going to a concert and we went out to dinner because she wanted to beforehand. And we were there for 2 hours and we didn't order dessert. Like, we sat there after ordering our entrees for an hour waiting for our entrees to come out. And I had to like kind of get the waitress and be like, we have to leave. Like, we have to go to a concert. Is there any way we can get the food quicker at all? It was not packed at all. So I think they were having a kitchen staff shortage is what I think. I knew it wasn't her fault, but it was frustrating, to say the least, to sit there for so long. And she was a great waitress. It wasn't her fault at all. But other times we've had servers that were not good. Like, they didn't care. They never came back. I had one literally disappear. She left. She didn't give us our check. She just left. And my mom and I were together and we were alone at the table for 45 minutes. And I had to wave over a manager to say, hey, can I get the check so we can leave? So no, eating out, not my favorite at the moment. Downsides of doing YouTube? There's not that many downsides, I guess. I suppose it's criticism from other people, like public criticism, which can be hard because people in your real life don't just like randomly walk up to you and criticize you. They don't criticize your hair or your clothes or things you have no control over, like your nose. I have people comment all the time about my face being red, and I do have a pink undertone in my face. It's been like that my whole life. I don't have any diseases or anything, but people comment on it all the time. And it kind of makes you think, wow, is there something wrong with me? I would say that's the hardest part, is the like unsolicited opinions about your life. But I've gotten pretty good at ignoring those. And honestly, they're very, very few. There's not many of them. Not a question, but I love how you say cauliflower. How do you say cauliflower? Cauliflower? How else would you say it? What does my current workout routine look like? Right now, I am training for hiking the rim to rim at the Grand Canyon with my daughter. We're doing that in about a month from recording this, which is one of the reasons I'm super excited that Element is sponsoring the podcast today, because I have been using the Element hydration electrolytes nonstop during my training. So I actually do a ton of hiking, long hiking, a ton of elevation. A couple days ago, I hiked to the top of a mountain with some girlfriends of mine, and it's a 4,000 foot climb in like 4 miles. So a ton of elevation work. I live at high elevation anyway, but I think that mountain's 11,000 feet. So we've definitely been working the elevation. So I'm doing hiking and then a little bit of weightlifting and biking to support the hiking. And then once the Grand Canyon hike is over, I'll probably switch into my winter schedule, which I have not figured out yet. It's going to be a combo of probably road running and Peloton with weightlifting. How long have you guys been married and how did you meet? We've been married for 20 years. We celebrated our 20-year anniversary this year, which was super exciting. My parents got divorced after they'd been married for 22 years, I believe. So if I can make it past my parents' marriage, I'll call that a win. We met in college. We were both training to be personal trainers, and he saw me and he was like, wow, she's cute. And I, of course, had no filter at the time. So I put my foot in my mouth and said something offensive. And he thought my sass was fun and interesting. And he's regretted that decision ever since. Do I have to use bread flour for my bread recipe? No, I rarely use bread flour for any of my yeast breads. So you can use all-purpose flour. It's totally fine. I have also used bread flour. It's also fine. Either is fine. Oh, this is a toughie question. I don't know that I want to get into it this time. How are you adjusting to Haley not being home and how is she doing? The first week Haley left, I laid on her empty bed and bawled my eyes out. I don't want to cry right now. I'm sure every mom feels this way about their oldest child or maybe a daughter. Haley is amazing. She's one of the most amazing people I know. It has been one of the greatest privileges of my life to be her mom and to have her company with me. And when she left, it was like it broke my soul wide open and left my heart bleeding on the floor. And it's been it's been hard for me just because I miss her so dang much. And I didn't anticipate being so sappy about it because I'm not a crier generally. My mom often says I have a heart of stone and I'm not sensitive, and I don't get it because I'm not sensitive. And having your daughter leave is one of the hardest things I've ever experienced in my life. I'm so excited for her. I want her to go and have all these experiences. That's what they're supposed to do. But at the same time, I'm like, how dare she have the audacity to do what she's supposed to and leave me without her amazing energy and company. So it's been quite the adjustment for myself. So I just want to say, if you have friends who have recently sent a kid to college, please check on them because they are probably not doing okay, because I did not do okay. Are we planning any trips this year? Yeah, we have a Christmas trip planned that I'm super excited about. And that's really it right now. As you know, Haley was kind of leaving, we put a lot of trips on the back burner and just tried to see how the new vibe was going to feel. Who inspires me? I have this friend who is incredibly inspiring to me. She cares so much about her family. She is always up for anything. Like, she's the adventure one. If you call her and you're like, hey, you want to go blah, 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 do this crazy thing, she's like, I'm down. She's always down for anything. She's hilarious. She is very intelligent. She loves challenges. She loves to read. She wants to talk about interesting, like mentally stimulating things while also not taking herself too seriously. And it's one of my goals to be more like her. Some might say I am like her, but I still feel like I'm kind of chasing her a little bit to be more of pushing my intelligent capacity and pushing my physical limits. She's just super inspiring, and I love her for that. My best marriage advice. This might sound counterintuitive if you're already married, but if you're not already married, choosing the right partner is the single most important decision you will make in your life that affects the quality of the happiness and satisfaction in your life. That is true. And Dave and I married young, but we grew together and we allowed each other to grow, and we learned how to communicate, because the first 4 years of our marriage, we sucked at communication, and we learned how to put down our ego and listen to the other person. Like, shut your yap and just listen to what they're saying. Everybody just wants to be heard. You know what I mean? And then as far as what I've learned about being married to a man, like what men need and what men want, is men just need to know that they're respected in their own house. Like, you respect their opinions, you respect the effort they make in doing things, you respect their decisions, as long as they're good decisions. You can be partners in it. I would never say Dave like runs the show. We are total partners in everything that we do here in the house. But if I was belittling him or constantly questioning everything he said, or like, you're doing that wrong, move over, let me, I don't think anybody wants to feel that way. He needs to know that his woman looks up to him and that he can provide for and protect his family. That's all he wants. That's all most men want. But communication, oh my gosh, communication without yelling, like listening and coming up with solutions together, there's no substitute for that. chocolate or vanilla? It's gotta be chocolate, right? When is my birthday? It is in November, so presents always accepted. Just kidding. My favorite podcast. I have two that maybe I haven't mentioned recently. So I talked about the Happiness Lab previously, which is fantastic. I love listening to Chasing Excellence. I would say it is fitness based, but it's also like running a business and mindset and finding excellence in your life in all categories, which I really love. And there's another one maybe you hadn't thought about. So just listen for a second and don't go crazy. There's a podcast called Sex with Emily. And I think for mothers who have had babies and are having a hard time like feeling feminine and wanting to be intimate with their partner post baby, when you feel gross and you don't recognize your body and you're exhausted. I feel like a lot of the things that she has to say are extremely helpful for women in that situation. And I wish they had it when I was having babies. So I just think if you're having a hard time, like you just had a baby and you just don't feel like feminine and beautiful anymore, I think she's got a lot of great things to say. So those are my recs on other podcasts at the moment. I think we're going to wrap it up right now. So thank you so much for sending in your questions. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to hang out with the podcast, either video or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Leave a review if you haven't yet. And thanks so much for listening. And until next time, bye.